What is up, my friend?
Hey, I'm glad to be here, man.
I'm glad to be here.
And happy Mohawkversary, bro.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it's serendipitous. Hold on one sec. You guys are going to get some is it SMR?
Oh, wow.
Is that what that is?
Man,
what's that noise?
that was therapeutic, if I've ever had it.
So, yeah, I guess we should do an intro. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Mind of Man podcast. Here with my buddy Jakob from the Nutrition Store.
That's us.
AKA TNS_CEO on Instagram. Man, you are the first guest in the new studio.
And I'm glad to be here, man. This is honestly, after training in the gym and then, obviously seeing this place and what it's, not only what it is, but what it's going to become, and hearing kind of your vision for it, it's incredible, man. So thanks for having me.
Absolutely. And big shout out to the office gym here in Lake Wiley for letting us build this studio up here. It's a
badass gym.
It's a badass gym.
First time training here. I actually went to school up here, as I was telling you, and I'd never come here. But I'm impressed. Very impressed. So I'll be back a lot more.
So we just worked out, which is why I'm still out of breath, because I'm a big dumb rhinoceros.
Same. I'm trying not to breathe too much.
Dude,
not to go into the mic.
That was my first. I know. I'm probably nose whistling and all kinds of shit.
Not to mention the sinuses.
Oh my god,
my ass
we're
right
both
now.
terrible. That was my first workout in about a week, so it was rough. And I can still, because I had a cold, and I can still feel it and I can still hear it. But anyway, yeah, man, it's awesome to have you here. I guess before we jump in, for anybody who doesn't follow you, which hopefully at least one or two. I think we got like 7 listeners now. We're up to like almost 10 people. It's amazing.
It's better than one,
dude.
Right?
It's pretty cool. Tell those 7 people who you are. What you're all about.
Yeah. So those of you who are listening, watching, my name is Jakob Davis. I own and operate the Nutrition Store LLC in Spartanburg, South Carolina. We've going on 3 years now. And basically, what we do down there is a lot different than any other nutrition store experience. So we consider ourselves a consultation environment. Everything in my store, in our store, it has to have peer-reviewed literature to support each ingredient that's in each product. And also we require like third-party testing. So, and I guess the reason that I've gotten here and we get on other casts and do a lot of content is because the method in which we educate our following on what we do at TNS is through videos and through entertainment, and our platform kind of resembles that. So I'm glad to be here. If you guys are ever in the Spartanburg area, check us out. But
absolutely, yeah. I mean, that's what caught my eye was the content you guys are putting out.
Thanks, man.
Not only the store, but yourself. I mean,
right,
you put out a lot of good content, and it resonated with me because obviously my association with First Form and everything that First Form stands for, I found it to be very similar. It's hard these days to find businesses that truly care about the customer insofar as scaling the unscalable, doing those things that really make it a valuable experience. And I mean, I'm talking a handful, like you guys, Andy Frisella, obviously, Seth Feroci, who, we both have gone up and done his, shot the shit with him. Yeah. Just like there's only a handful of folks like that, man. And so it was cool to me to see that that's what you do too. Also, you also have the mohawk and the.
Normally I carry a beard. I wield a pretty good beard.
I was a little disappointed.
I know, dude. When you said that earlier, I was like, man, I'm going to let this guy down on his Mohawkversary.
Oh, you're good, brother. It's pretty cool that literally to the day, this is my 1-year Mohawk anniversary, and my first guest in the new studio happens to also have a mohawk. So
I'm honored.
For those who aren't watching, Jakob is basically could be my brother.
We resemble each other a lot.
Yeah,
especially when I am bearded.
It was weird because we even both have a DNA double helix tattoo. Yep. I was like, is this guy from an alternate universe? And he's like, fuck, it's weird.
No, he's just from Spartanburg.
Dude, I know.
Just an hour south.
It's crazy.
That's insane.
So yeah, big shout out, to the office gym for letting us do this. And again, that's another, while we're, talking about folks who are trying to do it the right way and and scale the unscalable. I mean, same thing with this business here. I mean, what this guy has created, it's truly awesome. I mean, you just experienced his gym and what he's doing, and I'll be, always be grateful for him letting me set up here. But anyway, we really didn't come into this thing with a plan about what we were going to talk about. We're both sipping on PBRs post-workout.
Post-workout carbs, baby.
See where it goes conversation-wise. So I guess for you, I've obviously studied some of your content, as I try to do with a lot of my guests, but I wanted to specifically leave kind of the direction of where we go just out for whatever it turns into, because I just wanted to kind of have a conversation about wherever it goes. But you have a degree in exercise science. You're 25 years old, born and raised in the upstate area, or?
Yeah, so I was born and raised in Boiling Springs, South Carolina, so it's technically Spartanburg. It's not really an actual city. Went to Winthrop University up here in Rock Hill. Got my exercise science degree. I actually started out in dietetics, and then I realized, and honestly, my advisor at the time told me that what I wanted to do with a dietetics degree was not going to happen. So I was like, well, fuck you. I'm going to go do an exercise science degree.
Meaning like...
Well, so, basically getting a dietetics degree is a straight line to a hospital clinical setting.
Got it.
Working with diabetics, sick people in the hospital. And my goal was never that. When I was coming up in bodybuilding, I started bodybuilding when I was 14. Like, that's been my thing.
Yeah. Man, I started around the same age, 15, I think.
Yeah. Started young.
Did you read Arnold's encyclopedia?
Bet your ass I did,
dude. I've lived like the same life. It's crazy.
Well, anyway, I got into that. I was a big fan of Lane Norton.
Same.
3DMJ were my coaches as a 16-year-old. So like Alberto Nunez, those guys, Jeff Alberts. And so I went into school thinking, I'm going to get a nutritional science degree, dietetics. I'm going to coach people. I'm going to help athletes. That wasn't my path, and I learned really quick. I was like, well, okay, we're going to switch. While I was in school, I worked full-time as a personal trainer for about 4 or 5 years. And I got this job part-time at a little store called Rock Hill Nutrition while I was in school.
Yeah.
And the entire concept of Rock Hill Nutrition was inform, educate, don't push products. We're not here to lump things. Typically there's... Like
some nutrition stores out there, we won't name any.
Yeah, I always try to... names. Well,
I can do it.
Right,
I can do it.
Right. Our goal at TNS is not to be like that. And that's what I learned at Rock Hill Nutrition. Very much community-based, little small store too, And I took that in conjunction with, I guess we're fast-forwarding through my college, took that in conjunction with falling into the MFCEO project, listening to every cast of Andy's.
Yep.
And I took it to heart. A lot of people just listen, and he called them performance zombies or something. Success zombies.
Success zombies.
And
I love that term.
Yeah, a lot of people just listen to him. And I know people that do that.
Well, there's people who think that by listening to content like that, they're progressing. Mm-hmm. Just by way of consuming that content, and they're not actually doing anything. Right. And that's what that success zombie is. It's like, dude, I know so many people like that, just like you. And it's like, bro, eventually you got to put that shit down and fucking go do something.
Well, I remember listening to him like in a chain reaction, and it just clicked in my head because there was like some kind of Thursday Thunder or something. This was 4 years ago,
dude. I remember.
Yeah.
Every episode.
Yep. And he was, he got on the mic and yelling, he's like, "You motherfuckers, like." Y'all are just listening to my content, getting all rah-rahed up, getting motivated for 10 minutes, and you're not actually doing anything. So at that point, I dropped everything I was doing. I bought this big-ass entrepreneurship book, like on how to start a business, how to file LLCs, and I started studying it. And I was still in school, and, I filed it, all that.
Now, at that point, because you're studying entrepreneurship, getting into the nitty-gritty of starting a business, did you know it was going to be a nutrition store? Was that the aim at that point?
Well, originally... I didn't at first. And originally I started studying gym ownership, and I was like, I want to open a gym. Yeah. And then I realized really quick, I'm like, man, I know nutrition. I know nutrition already. I know these supplements because I've already been working at the store.
Yeah.
And I know a lot about supplements, like we formulate now, et cetera. I was like, I could actually make I could actually like make a name for myself and impact the world and educate people a lot better than a gym personally.
Yeah. And I mean, you seem like I call myself like a supplement nerd. Mm-hmm. Like I enjoy that shit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that was my thing. So originally I was like, gym, and then I was like, no, wait. I love going to work at Rock Hill Nutrition every day. Like I crave going in there to help people, to talk to people. I love it so much. And at that point I really took ownership in that store. I don't know the sales reports because he was really old school, but I'm pretty sure at that point when I made that decision, Rock Hill Nutrition went up. Right? Sorry, I'm burping a little bit.
No, you're good, man. They're going to hear me burp too. It's okay. Sorry that we're human, guys. Guess what? Yeah. You fucking are too.
Right, exactly. Deal with it.
Yeah. You poop too.
But, so I started developing the business plan for that, and I was like, we're going to make this a brand. Like, we're going to make this something bigger than just a small mom and pop shop.
Now, Rock Hill Nutrition, does the individual who owned that store, were they basically like a mentor to you? Did they know the role they played?
Huge mentor, and I try to remind him every time I come up here.
Okay, good.
He was such a fundamental.
Shout out to Rock Hill Nutrition. Yeah. Is it still?
He's still going. Okay. Steve Wayman's his name.
Steve. Look what you did, Steve.
Steve's the guy, dude. He's the guy. He won't hear this. He's not on social media. He's very old school.
Well, maybe somebody will hear it and say something.
I hope they tell him. But yeah, dude, he laid such an impact on my life that made me want to, do my own thing. And so from there, I moved back. I was like, I didn't want to move back to my hometown, man. I really didn't. I wanted to live up here in Charlotte. I wanted to live in Fort Mill. But I saw the growth rate.
Yeah.
That was happening.
In upstate?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Spartanburg was growing.
I almost opened a bar in downtown Greenville.
Really?
Like, came really close. Yeah.
Good luck now.
I'm out of that.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's insane now down there.
I bet.
I was lucky to get the spot we got in Greenville.
Oh, dude.
So lucky.
So, a little aside there on that whole journey of looking for space, man. Yeah. So, when I owned bars, I think I was paying, because you pay by the square foot per year, right? I was paying like $18 a square foot per year at my Charlotte location. And then, I think the most I was paying was in Rock Hill, of all places, and it was like $22, $24.
Right.
Nothing crazy. Yeah. But this is what I was going to tell you. I went to Charleston to look at locations, bro. I found a spot I loved. It was perfect. A little on the small side, but I was like, this is perfect. Until I heard the numbers. $77 a square foot per year.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and they were like, "There's no flexibility on that because other people will pay that all day long here."
That's insane.
Isn't that wild?
Oh my God, no.
That's the difference.
Yes, I mean it is. Well, the difference even between Spartanburg and Greenville. I mean, we pay. I want to say
you don't have to share your numbers if you don't want.
I don't care. I'm pretty an open book. $12 a square foot in Spartanburg.
It's pretty standard for
Greenville is right at 21.
Do you have a lot in CAM, or do you have any CAM?
CAM is included in that 12 figure, so it's even less than that.
And for those who don't know, CAM is common area maintenance. Yeah, usually that's tacked on to.
Can kiss my ass, by the way,
dude.
I think that should just be factored in.
It's the same as when you find you're like. It's
like triple net, they
like triple net, yeah. All of that is all commercial leasing terminology that folks may not be familiar with, but think about if you find a townhouse that's really sweet and you're like, oh, it's $1,700 a month, awesome, whatever, and then you find out the HOA is $500 a month.
Yeah,
you're like, oh, it's actually $2,200 a month to live here.
It's like
that's what CAM is in the retail space. It's like, oh, you got to pay an extra fucking this many $1,000 per year.
It's like
for us to put some plants in some pots.
Exactly, it's BS.
It's BS.
It's like you're going to buy a car.
Well, it's not BS if you're a commercial real estate owner.
I guess you're right. Yeah. Well, then just give me the flat price, dude.
Just why separate?
Tell me the fucking price. It's like you're going to buy a car and you go to the finance department. And they want to add all these little extra add-ons and gap insurance and all that. And I'm like. Same concept.
The docking fee and fucking this and that and the other. Yeah.
But
anyway. So Rock Hill Nutrition, massive inspiration. You decide this is what I truly want to do. Now, did you have any reservations about starting a brick and mortar retail store in the age of Amazon?
Yes. Oh, yeah, man.
Talk about that a little bit.
That was something that gave me a huge fear. But I also, I don't know who I was listening to or what it was that kind of clicked with me. I was like, people still want that personalized experience.
Yeah.
You can go to Amazon and read reviews all day, but what's to say that they're not paid for or they're not, biased in one way, shape, or form?
Sure.
People still crave that environment where they can come in and be educated.
Bro, I'm only 33. I'm not that old.
Oh, yeah. Right? No, nobody ever said you were.
Dude, I'm just, for you, I got to let people know.
Young as hell, man.
No, but what I was going to say is I will go out of my way to do the not the self checkout, to use a person because I like fucking people.
Yeah,
I do like fucking people, but a person.
Yeah, one person.
I like people, and I use the word fuck a lot.
Yeah,
but no, I like people, and I think there's something to that. And I was I was curious your thoughts to movie theaters.
Mm-hmm.
You think they're going to go away, or?
Oh man, I think
because you're a brick and mortar retail store owner.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I mean, I
never got to leave my couch, and I can get everything you sell, right?
You can, but you can't get the experience that we provide.
So what is that?
Yeah, and that experience is one, community. One thing that we really focus on, and I think this is to anybody who owns a retail environment or any kind of brick and mortar, really establish yourself in the community, hold events, do fundraisers, help somebody out, and build a name for yourself, because that aspect is something you're not going to get from Amazon. Right. You know, I saw a post, Amazon's not going to sponsor your little kid's football team.
That's so damn true.
And so...
the perfect example, not to cut you off.
No.
I live in TKK, South Carolina, and I was telling you last night, there's a huge concert event in my neighborhood sponsored by actually a local brewery. Mm-hmm. Not Anheuser-Busch, a local brewery.
One was it, Amor Ortiz?
Model A.
Okay. I've never been there.
Amor Ortiz is fucking awesome, too.
I know the guys that started that one. I haven't been there yet, but yeah.
Yeah. Great beer. I mean, so does Model A. So Model A is actually in TKK.
Nice. Okay.
They sponsored this concert event, gave back to the community. It was phenomenal. And it's like, same thing. Like, Jeff Bezos isn't sponsoring the local concert event in my neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know?
And the thing is, like, I don't hate Amazon either.
No,
I still use Amazon, but the way I see it is
if you want that bespoke experience,
right? That those people that really want to get the best results and get the best education possible about their supplementation, they're probably going to make their way into this kind of environment.
Or the person who truly has no idea, right? Like, what the fuck, where to start. Mm-hmm. There's all this information on YouTube. There's all this overwhelming stuff on social media.
Right.
Let me just go to this damn store and have Jacob talk to me about what I need to do.
Exactly. And also, like, that gets into another part of what we do is we do help brands and make products for us and another company. Amazon is so restrictive on the ingredient profiles that they approve.
Really?
And the dosages of said ingredients. So
that's shocking. I feel like Amazon is like they don't give a shit. Really?
This would not be approved. You know,
because you use efficacious dosing.
We use efficacious dosing, and we also use
it actually works.
Isopropyl norepinephrine, which Amazon would see that and they're like,
it's got epinephrine.
Yeah, it's synephrine. It's whatever.
It sounds like something that
sounds scary, right? Yeah. So that, in addition to the community aspect, and then also we are building like a local brand in our area.
And really quick, for those who are just listening and not watching, he was referring to his own supplements, which are sitting here on the table,
right?
Which are, by the way,
we call it Enjoy the Ride.
Enjoy the Ride.
Yep, our first one.
We got llama corn pre-workout. By the way, my daughter,
I'll tell you a little story about that in a second,
is obsessed with llama corns specifically. I shit you not. That's why I used this today.
Yeah, I'll bring you. We have little stickers cut out of that cartoon.
Oh my god,
they're on the way. I'll bring.
She'll
you some.
put it on everything.
Dude, I have actually.
She has llama corn play toys,
dude. Like, I have a big ass pool float. I'll bring her. I have an extra one, and it's a llama corn.
It's like she doesn't.
Yeah.
Unicorns can fuck off. Like, that's her thing.
Dude, they're the next age, man.
It's a weird thing. Like, I don't know where it came from. And I didn't even mention it to you because I was just so ready to work out. But like, I saw that and I was like, oh my god, like it's so funny.
I'll tell you, like, not to like harp on the product. You guys can check it out on our,
it's your product. Talk about it. Fuck
it. So
y'all buy his fucking product.
Enjoy the Ride. We wanted to make something fun, and this is a pretty intense pre-workout. I mean, you probably noticed it's a pretty high stem.
I am a stimulant junkie, and I was stimulated.
Yeah,
but here's the thing: it wasn't too much.
Right.
I had great focus. I had a great pump. It was a great product.
Hell yeah,
it is a great product.
Right. When how many products do you go in that are that high stem that look friendly? They're all aggressive.
That's a good point.
They scream, rip your mother's face off.
It's like turbo, jacked pump, extreme.
Demon Hunter 666.
Dick in your ass 3000. Like, this is llama corn.
Yeah. And so
I like that.
To speak on that flavor, I was drunk on a river when I came up with that flavor.
I don't believe it. Drunk on a river? No way.
Hey, that's it.
Dude, you got to come. We got to float the Catawba.
That's what I was doing. All right. Anyway. Actually, no, I was not on Catawba. I was a little bit north of that in a different river.
Same thing, though.
But yeah. So if you're on a river on a float, you
finish there in Riverwalk, go to Brass Tap.
That sounds like a dream, dude. So the girl I was dating at the time, up in Western Carolina, we were at Walmart getting floats because we wanted to float down the river up there.
Cullowhee?
Yeah, good old Cullowhee, North Carolina.
Cullowhee, North Carolina.
Not much there. Kind of bass backwards, man. You can go out in the streets any time of day, and you'll see people protesting all kinds of stuff. I don't know if you've seen those yet. Oh, dude, the churches up there are like super like alt-right.
Oh, okay. So basically just protesting their right to assemble.
They can. I don't have a problem with the protests. Obviously, they're just out.
Or are they like fire and brimstone? Like,
yes.
Okay.
Like
the guy on the
snake
corner.
whisperers kind of people.
Okay, gotcha.
I have another story about that, by the way.
Do you want another beer?
I'd love another beer.
All right, keep talking.
Yeah. So anyway, we were up there at Walmart. She bought a float, and I was like, you know what? Screw that. We're going out with a bang. There was a big ass 6-foot llama corn.
Oh my god!
And I was like, you know what? That's it. So riding down the river, I'm like 7 or 8 White Claws deep because there ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
We got those here too.
And the idea came to me. I'm like, we need to call it pink llama corn, and we're gonna make it raspberry flavored.
Dude, I love it.
Thanks,
love it.
Yeah.
I literally the only reason I used that was because of the branding.
I'm glad. See, and that's.
I didn't even look at the other two.
I can't wait to show you the second store, man, because we're taking every cartoon that we've ever made. So all these, that's me, that's Austin, that's Isaac.
Now, is there someone who does all your artwork?
Yeah, his name's Javier, and he lives down in Chile.
Really?
We've never met, but we talk all the time.
He's talented. I like his stuff.
I've met him on Fiverr. Since then, we've kind of formulated a relationship over email and Instagram DMs.
Okay.
He's super fluent in English, so there's never any communication issues. That dude is killer, dude.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But I can't wait to show you the second location because we're going to take canvases of every single design we've ever done, like the Only Gains thing I gave you.
Yes,
the cluck around and find out. We're going to have those up on an accent wall.
I love it.
It's going to be incredible. So
now you are very much into the social media.
Right.
You're putting out tons of video content. I mean, you're doing the thing. Like what inspired that? Was it mainly Andy, or like where does that come from? And when I say Andy, I mean Andy Frisella, MF CEO. But
he was a huge inspiration to me. But I don't think the content thing. I've always been a showman, a performer.
Sure.
I love to create something that tells a story. Even as a kid, my parents always bring up. They're like, "Yeah, Jacob, you were made. You were supposed to be doing something like this." Because at 4 or 5 years old, actually a little bit older than that, I would take the webcam from our parents' ancient computer, and I would run a wire outside of the house and shoot videos of our backyard, like me doing acting and stuff.
That's awesome.
Like I used to make videos when I was such a little kid, man. And it hit me when I signed the lease on the store. First time, opened the doors, I got out my phone like I was telling you earlier, and I just started talking to it. And I said, wait, this is how we bring a new experience to supplement store people. You're going to be entertained, educated, and it's going to bring a different kind of vibe.
You've really kind of created a cast of characters.
Oh, of course,
that people are familiar with. And I love that with brands. So like Black Rifle Coffee.
Oh yeah.
All the brands that I really enjoy. They've created like a cast of characters.
Mm-hmm.
The people who so the guys who work in your store, guys and girls who work in your store. It's
right.
like people get to know them, and they look forward to that content almost just to see what such and such is up to, or
mm-hmm.
I really like the way this person reacts when Jacob says something silly, or
exactly. Yeah,
and that stuff is, man, it's very apparent to me that you've done that, and I was just kind of curious where that came from, and if that was a goal of yours, or
it never was, dude. Like I always said, we're going to provide an experience unmatched by others. We're going to create a brand experience unmatched by others, but I didn't know how. And once the video started being made, I think we're almost 800 posts in, maybe a little bit more, 3 years in.
Now, are you doing YouTube as well? Or
we are.
Okay.
We're doing YouTube. I haven't gained much success there, and I think it's just because I haven't devoted much energy to it, to be real with you.
It's hard to grow on YouTube these days, man.
Oh, I believe it.
It's fucking hard.
Yeah, and but out of 800 posts, we've never made one single photo post.
Really?
Every single post is a video.
I don't think I even realized that. But
they're all videos, and so that's going to change one day because I do realize the value in picture marketing too.
Sure.
But most of our videos are not even calls to action. We're just providing information.
Yeah.
We're entertaining, and that brings so much inquiry to what we're doing. people feel like they're a part of something because they've watched us grow and evolve.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're actually starting a vlog series on building the second store so people can watch every single aspect of how we're going to do it.
Is that YouTube or
it's gonna be
Instagram?
Both. It's going to be both. IGTV, YouTube, and then Facebook Watch.
Okay.
We're calling it the G Vlog because it's Greenville, GVL. So
GVL?
Yeah.
G Vegas?
Yeah, it's getting there. It's a dense population out there, man.
All right, so we didn't get fully to, just to go back for a second.
I was going to say, we can sidetrack. Like,
I'll
start rambling,
Same. This is deadly. Rock Hill Nutrition got inspired. You knew that's what you wanted to do at that point. How did, because you're, 3 years in?
Yeah, we're almost 3 years in.
So you were 22 years old. You know, how does a 22-year-old get to start a business like this? For a young guy out there who's listening, you know, how did you actually make that come to fruition?
Right.
Because like we were talking about earlier, you know, folks struggle with that transition from being inspired and listening to tons of motivational content to actually doing the damn thing. Like, how did you make that happen to where you actually, as a 22-year-old man, had your own nutrition store?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And I will say this, when I brought this idea and this mission back home to local people I grew up with, you know, I was judged a lot because people assumed it was daddy's money, you know, what this, that, and the other. And I'm fully transparent about it. You know, I was fortunate to have basically a year prior to me even getting inspired to open the store. And it wasn't fortunate. It was kind of a bad thing. We lost a family member that we didn't really know very well, but all of the grandkids were, you know, in that. We got a very small lump sum of $50,000, right? I blew, by the way. I was a dumbass. 21-year-old bought a Subaru WRX for $30,000, blew 30 of it, and I'm sitting on 20 thinking I'm a little baller, right? And I'm like, and I start getting into entrepreneurship. And
then you're like, why did I buy that car?
Yeah, I'm pissed off. I'm like, I'm over here like, well, I need this, and this to start a store. I don't have that. What am I going to do? So I worked full-time as a personal trainer there. I was working for Gold's Gym and then also working for Rock Hill Nutrition while I finished my degree at Winthrop. And then I also got a small loan from a family member. So I was a lot more fortunate than others.
But I think yes and no, because you still have to be willing to.
And I'm not declining how much work I put in. Dude,
but also to just fucking go for it too, because so many people have. There are plenty of people who can secure 20, 30 grand
and that's the thing,
from various sources.
I say that now after having pretty decent success with TNS, like knowing what we're capable of. Back then, that was a lot to me, and it still is a decent chunk of money.
Of course.
But, you know, the lessons I've learned and what I've been through and how much work I've put in, and we've multiplied that by 30 in 3 years, that initial investment. I'm like, I was fortunate, but also I made the most of what I did have out of that fortunate, you know?
And so was it that moment where you heard Andy talk about, like, stop just listening to me, take fucking action. You buy the book, you start studying all that stuff. Because I remember, for me, like, when I actually pulled the trigger on opening, it was terrifying, right? Like, and it was difficult to like let go of that capital to you know put yourself on the line to actually, because you go from this point of like what's the best way to put it, like your ego is preserved.
Yo, dude, we all live in that state of preservation.
It's your ego is intact, and then when you stake your ego on a fucking business, I mean, because now all of a sudden, like, it's either you fucking, it's fight or flight, right? Like you're going to win or lose, and you're putting it all out there. Was that difficult for you? I mean, because I just think back to when because it's not like you started some like online drop shipping fucking Amazon thing. Like, you opened a storefront. What were the early days like, and all that good stuff?
So I'll say this one thing. Like, Andy saying that it wasn't what started it. I think what really made me feel more confident, a few things, and I'm allowed to be 100% transparent here.
That's what we want.
I had just finished up my first big cycle of gear at the time, so of course when you're hopped up on testosterone,
I was going to say gear is steroids, by the way.
Yeah. So you're a lot more confident in everything. So I said, fuck it. I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm the man. You know, like that mindset. You get humbled really quick when you go in like that, though.
Yeah.
But Andy's saying the work has to become before the faith. You know, the work has to become before the belief in what you're doing. So I just kind of convinced myself that when we got the Nutrition Store LLC filed and figured out and found a location, I was like, I've just got to keep hitting the ground running. I've got to keep doing the things daily. I kind of blocked out people that were saying things. People didn't believe me. I told my friends that what I was doing. They're like, oh, yeah, okay. Like, oh, cool. But they just kind of snowballed, man. It wasn't a fear thing for me. Like, I guess I was just a cocky motherfucker. Like, I always knew, like, I'm like, if I put the work in, it's going to be successful.
Yeah.
Because, what am I scared of?
I think I think you do have to have, to some extent, some blind optimism almost if you're going to go into the entrepreneurship game. And I mean, obviously I believed that I could be successful because I fucking went for it, but like I was still like, oh my God, here we go. Yeah, this is it, man. This is fucking. I better show up and put up and fucking and that's exhilarating too, right?
Oh,
like,
it's so exciting.
Dude.
Well, and also for me, man, I think the idea knowing that I was 22 at the time, if I failed,
that's super young.
Well, if I failed, and my mindset was like, if this fucks, like if it crashes, guess what? I have an exercise science degree. I can go be a personal trainer again. Yep. I can make a living. I can figure it out from there. But this is my like shot because this is what I want to do with my life.
And that's important for people that age. Like, just go for it, man. Yeah. Just because what you're gonna, like he said, especially if like you don't have kids or any of that, like. Dude, you got nothing to lose. Even if you have to file bankruptcy, who the fuck cares? File bankruptcy and start building again. Like, you're 22 years old.
You have so many opportunities to fall on your face this young. Even at 25.
Yeah,
like
still, even
at 33.
33.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I've started, grown, and sold a business, and I still feel young as fuck. And, like, this whole podcast and everything, like, it's all, like, I feel like I'm just starting. Yeah. You know? Like, there's just so, like... There's so many years in a life, and you can do so much, and it drives me crazy when I see people who just talk about what they're going to do and talk about what they're going to do, and they won't just fucking do it. Yep. Because, man, like, it stops so many people from achieving what, and then they wake up one day fucking miserable, 68 years old.
And one thing I've noticed that those kind of people, they don't realize what they're doing, but they're separating themselves from the people that do.
Yeah,
and like they are put like
good point. Yeah,
because I hear people every day tell me, "Oh, I'm going to do this. This is my plan." Well, at first, I'm always going to be optimistic and support you. If you never take that action, if you never start taking those leaps, I'm going to distance myself from you because I don't have time for it.
Right. Well, it's just like I told you when we were talking earlier, man. Like, I work for Andy Frisella. I work for First Form, and when I was starting this podcast, a couple of my buddies were like, oh, since you work for Andy, you should ask him to be your first guest. And I was like, hell no. Yeah. Hell fucking no. And for the very reason you just pointed out, it's like, you can talk all day about what you're going to do, but until you start showing me that you're actually going to put up and create something and take action, so what? People talk all day.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not going to ask that man to be the guest on a podcast that has 0 episodes. Right. Like, and that's so important because you just gotta. People have ideas. Everybody has fucking ideas. Like, and again, I'm really thinking about like the young man, the 22-year-old, 25-year-old, whatever. We're still only 25, which is fucking crazy. But like, dude, you just got to start producing.
You got to do something.
You got to do something, man. Exactly. Like, just stop fucking sitting around listening to Gary Vee and whoever the fuck you listen to. And,
do yourself a favor and leave the town you're in for like a week.
That's a great point.
I've learned that separating yourself from where you grew up and even your family, those around you, just for a few days. Hell, go an hour north or south and hang out, right? And I say that it sounds weird, but you're the average of the community that you surround yourself with. Yeah. And if you stay there and you keep telling yourself that you're going to do something and take action towards something, you probably never will. But that's just my thoughts on it.
No, I agree. I agree, man. I mean, dude,
because my own family doesn't really even understand why I'm doing a second store. And I love my family to death, by the way. Biggest supporters, huge, like they're amazing, incredible. They don't get it. They're like, Jacob, you're like I showed them the numbers we do, and I'm like, you're fine. I'm like, no, I'm not.
Right.
Like, this is going to feed employees' families. This is going to feed athletes' families. We're going to make this mega, you know. And that's just me from one store, you know. But
well, that comes down to the difference between wanting to start a business to sustain yourself personally versus being mission oriented to make a big change in the world.
Right.
And if you want to make a big change in the world, you don't stop at one store. So that brings me to the question: what is the mission ultimately? You know, in however many years? What do you? I mean, you're a young man, so.
Right.
When you're an old man like me, what's the?
I want out of the supplement industry as fast as possible.
Didn't expect that answer. Can you elaborate on that?
I'm coming for Academy Sports and Outdoors.
Okay, so that's the like sporting goods.
We're going to be everything. Like we're going to be professionals at it. You know, like obviously we're still going to primarily be the nutrition store.
You said that with a lot of confidence.
I just
like that.
I don't like the supplement industry, man. I'm very adamant, and all my friends in the industry know that. I'm very open about that. It's a very small knit. Even First Forms escaped the supplement industry. That's one thing. Like, dude, even though they're supplements, they're a culture and a brand of their own that nobody on this level of the supplement industry can touch. And I say that objectively. We don't carry First Form, but I know that what they've built is where, like, I want to step outside of it. I want to stay in the retail sector. I'm good at it. I know that I can be good at it. So I don't ever want to become what First Form is, but I can also respect the fact that, you know, all the big time brands, quote unquote, that think they're big in the supplement industry are still 100 steps behind. That, or even I shit on Herbalife a lot. Same thing. They're mega. And that's what I mean by stepping outside of the supplement industry. I say that confidently because it's a freaking toilet bowl flush, man. It is a circling drain.
But isn't that kind of a reason to stay in it though and do it the right way?
I guess you're right. Well, I guess I misspoke, right? I don't want to step outside of the supplement industry entirely.
Okay.
I want to create my own niche within that and expand beyond it. Like, I don't want to be a company that is on a top 10 list of some review channel for the supplement industry. People that, you know, look like are obsessed with supplements. I want to be an entity of its own where people recognize the apple and barbell wherever you go. Okay. That's kind of my mindset on it. I don't really know how we're going to get there, but I'm confident we will. You know, it's one of those things over time. I've seen over the past 5 years of being in this industry. It's small.
Yeah,
it's smaller than we think. Even the top dogs. I guess I could name names like. You know,
you can say whatever you want, man.
Yeah, even the top dogs, Redcon 1, Hacks and Sledge, Ghost. I would consider Inspired up there. Glaxon's getting up there, pretty good. There's such a small blip in what is the fitness industry.
Sure,
right? Because the supplement industry is just a subsector of that.
Yeah, of course.
So, I want to figure out a way to one day step out of just this.
Okay, so that would be like you said, Academy Sports. So like,
I want to be all inclusive, right? So like
goods.
Right now we have a large selection of all belts, knee sleeves, wraps, straps. We offer the second part of our store. We have 2 storefronts. The second unit is a meal area.
Okay.
We carry all meal prep, similar to what they have here at the gym. We work with Clean Eats. We work with 2 local meal prep companies. We also have a microwave set up, a table. Half the law enforcement in the county comes eats with us every day. I just envision this mega like
lifestyle kind of
a center where you can take care of all your fitness needs. Eventually, I'd love to work our way into offering people with lifting shoes and more fitness oriented like wear. You know,
like you want to be like the one-stop shop for
everything,
all your needs.
If Noble would give me a contract, I'd sell them in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Noble,
come on, guys.
You're not listening, but if you were,
I have 5 pairs of your shoes, please. Like,
you know what? I have so many friends that have a bunch of pairs of their shoes like that.
Their trainers are not that great, in my opinion. I work out in them.
Oh, there goes the contract. I'm kidding.
Well,
I don't have any Nobles at all.
Really?
I've never worn a pair.
Here's the thing. I don't run. That's a cuss word to me.
People might not believe this, but I don't either.
They're runners, though, man. Like, I wore them today.
Yeah.
Standing all day at the store, the most comfortable things ever.
Okay, all right. Well, the contract might be coming back.
Yeah, come on, guys. Just stroke it a little bit, you know?
Dude, I'm like so attached to Vans.
Dude, yeah.
That's all I wear.
Yeah.
Vans, and I have like a pair of Atomics when I'm feeling like a real like bodybuilding douche.
I was going to say, that's getting up there,
that's
man.
It, yeah.
I can see you rocking some Atomics. The beard, the hawk.
You got to be really jacked.
You wear some leggings with them?
No.
Oh, okay.
I have. I have. Well, I've worn leggings, but I think I wore Vans because it was leg day.
Of course. But yeah, I guess I don't want to sound like too arrogant about like stepping over. Like, I didn't mean to say Academy, for example. They're mega.
No, you said it, bro. It's out there.
I think
Academy, fucking look out.
Well, I want us to be a mega center for more than just supplements. I think that's what I was getting at. You know.
Now you are called the Nutrition Store. Mm-hmm. Are you gonna like would you change the name or like because or are you just gonna be like we're TNS?
That's what it. Yeah. That's probably what it's gonna come down to.
Tits and
ass.
Sex.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. That's Seth said last week. He was like tits and ass. Every time I see your username, dude, it's tits and ass to me.
Seth's a pervert.
Yeah,
I love you, Seth. You're a pervert.
Very much so. Very much so.
He was talking about like fucking all kinds of shit. Like, you got to get it wet and spit on it.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
oh yeah.
All right, we're going there. Let's do it.
Immediately the first night.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it was like immediately within like the first 10 minutes of our podcast. I was like, oh, okay, all right.
That's where we're jumping. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm here for it. All right. So, big aspirations. You've mentioned a couple of times, you know, people doubted you. Mm-hmm. You know, people, whether it's friends or family or whatever. How do you deal with that? Like, what's your approach to that? Because for me personally, and the reason I ask you this, just really quick, is like I get a lot of questions from people like, dude, because you've seen my social. I'm outspoken. I don't hold anything.
And I love that. Yeah.
For me, dude, it's the only way I can live because otherwise I just feel like I'm living some kind of lie.
Right.
And it's freeing. It's liberating.
Right.
Just to be honest about like, no, Joe Biden's fucking demented. I'm sorry. He's demented. He's cognitively declining. And if you won't admit that, you're lying to yourself and go fuck off.
Well, they're going to enact. I mean, we all knew what's coming for that.
Yeah. And I don't want to make this political, but I'm just saying like I have no problem. And I put it in my Instagram bio. It's like I will say the thing that you're thinking. Because I will. Because it's just, for me, it's the least stressful way to live. Now, that goes back to same thing when I was starting my bars and everything else. People doubted the fuck out of me, told me, you know, why are you doing this? Like, Dave, you're a smart dude with a biochem degree. Why do you want to have a bar? You know, like, and I have my own ways of dealing with doubters and haters or whatever you want to fucking call it. How do you approach that?
So, here's the thing about the South, and you know this, especially small town South. Everybody's going to be nice to your face. They're going to be supportive, right, to your face. And
dude, you got to love small town
South.
Oh,
love it, man. But the thing is, word travels quick of the shit that was talked behind my back. But at the end of the day, I never addressed it, never said anything. Those people now are the ones coming to me for advice and like, congratulate me and like, I knew you could always do it, bro. I knew, like, I'm proud of your success. The same ones that were talking shit. But at the same time, I just kept my mouth shut. And I asked myself at the time, are those people in the position that I see myself in 10 years? If the answer is no, why the fuck do I care? Because they're not doing anything that I want to do, so I don't care about their opinion.
Right.
And that was something that don't get me wrong, it kind of got to me a little bit from time to time, like just hearing some of the things that were said, but I never addressed it. I just kind of kept my mouth shut.
Did you ever come close to quitting or giving up?
No. I mean, it's for me. It's like if you don't want to struggle through the embarrassment of failing, especially publicly, especially with how much video you're putting out and the content you're putting out.
Good point.
That's a harsh ego hit right there. You know, but also, man, like I think I'm fortunate enough to have developed that, I guess, community and customer base before we even opened. Because it's in an area where I was raised. And also I was putting out social media content like every day for a month prior to opening the store, like trying to generate an event. Come see us at the grand opening. The first 6 to 8 months was really rocky, though. I mean, we would have days where barely anybody would come in. And those were the days where I realized, hey, I can become good at creating videos. Because I had time. Sure. I had so much free time on my hands, man. to work on video content. And
and instead of sitting on your hands,
well, that's stupid.
You did something.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, what can I do to generate more interest in this store and get people in here? And then, one thing leads to another. Now, well over 30% of our new customers are from Instagram.
Really?
They see our video ads. They see, I saw a funny video, one of my friends showed us this thing of you acting like a fool or something, because we do stupid shit.
Hey, man, that's what it gets, though.
Right.
It gets people talking,
exactly. Right? So, I never had, quitting was never an option. What Andy always says, piss on your plan B.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I also knew at the same time if something did happen that I would be okay. There's always that mindset of we have an option. There's going to be something.
Yeah,
so,
for sure. I mean, always. Were your parents supportive of you opening a store?
Super. Yeah. My family, they helped me a shit ton, and they still do. Dad, I remember him helping me put up our walls. We have makeshift walls in the back to kind of block off a little office space for me.
Gotcha.
Which we don't use anymore because we have two storefronts beside each other. And I think so my dad's an entrepreneur, through and through. He was a huge,
that was my next question.
Yeah, huge inspiration to me. And he's a business owner, and I'll get to that in a second. He's a machinist and a fabricator. And he started his machine shop in our garage when I was born.
Nice.
So from that point on, he grew and developed into a pretty big, he's done contracts for NASA,
wow.
GE, he's a very specialized, machinist. But from that perspective, he was very supportive of me starting a business. He didn't and still doesn't understand my methods of marketing my business because I'm a social business. I talk to people for a living.
Mm-hmm.
And he creates things creates parts and does manual labor.
You're like the country family doctor, and he's like the surgeon.
Right.
Exactly. He doesn't want to talk to you. He wants to fix your fucking heart.
Exactly. And so, I think he was very critical of my videos. It was seen as wasting time or spinning my wheels.
Yeah.
And I get it, because at the same time, I didn't know what I was doing. I was just had some faith that it was going to generate.
You put out a lot of video content.
A lot. And we try to do it every day. At this point now, I don't even, my man Isaac edits our stuff, our updates anyway. All the actual content's still me, but I'm working on outsourcing that as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so very, very critical, but they were always supportive. If I needed something.
Do you have siblings?
I have 3 younger siblings. So
are they entrepreneurs or?
Well, I'm 25. Haven is.
Oh wait, they're younger. So they're really young. Okay.
Yeah, Haven just turned 23. Bethany's about to turn 21. She works for me. Fingers crossed.
I saw her in the Only Games.
We look just alike, but we also
that was one of the Only Games, right?
Yeah. We look alike, but she also has the same work ethic, and I'm hoping she takes that full-time position that I'm offering her.
Nice.
And then Brock's just turned 18.
Was it Bethany?
Mm-hmm.
If you're listening, Bethany, take the position. Take it.
Well, she's in nursing school right now.
Oh, okay.
And,
I don't know.
I told her, I laid it on the line, what could happen if she
Sure.
commits and believes in what we're doing. Because at the end of the day, she's got a pure heart. She just wants to help people, man.
Right.
And I was like, and even Austin, my right-hand man, he told her the other day, because I've made it very clear, I'm not her boss. Austin and Isaac are. My manager's under me. I said, I'm not going to run into this family shit where my family works for me.
That's smart.
She reports to you, and if there's an issue, I'll handle it, but I'm not going to talk to her about it.
Yeah.
But Austin even told her, he's like, Beth, not to sound I love nurses. I very much respect nurses. She's like, do you want to wipe people's asses for the rest of your life?
He doesn't respect nurses. I'm kidding.
I mean, she was like, do you want to do that, or do you want to provide positive, value to these people that come in this store and help them nutritionally? Yeah. So she got to thinking. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, and I do interviews for First Form's Legionnaire program, which is their sales affiliate program, and I say this frequently. The number one thing that I look for when I interview folks for this is do you genuinely want to help people, right?
Yeah.
And that's an attribute that you can't train someone to want to help people. It's intrinsic, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's if she has that desire, it sounds like, I guess. So what I'm trying to say is if you want to help people and that's all you really care about, then, and it's not some fascination with medical science, right? Then seems like you could probably help more people by growing this huge enterprise. Just putting that out there, Bethany.
Don't worry, I'll take this video portion, I'll clip it up and
send it to her
subtly, just
every day.
Passive aggressive, Little side note about that though, impact. My path in college was to become a PhD in exercise physiology. Mm-hmm. That was my goal. My professors knew that. They lined me up for research. I did undergrad research assistance. I wrote dissertations and stuff. When I informed them on my choice to finish with my bachelor's and stop there and pursue a business, I guess the message that was perceived by them was, "Oh, you just want to make money. That's all you care about." I was told that.
Wow. Yeah, that's a jaded perspective.
And that's academia for you. That's modern academia. We can get into that too.
I dropped out of a PhD program.
Yeah,
you don't have to tell me.
Right. And so it was one of those things. I was like, look, I can impact more people on a daily basis from talking to people about nutrition and health and wellness and fitness.
Dude.
So much more
than
speaking in front of 20 students in a college class that don't give a fuck.
Writing some esoteric article on some lactate shuttle mechanism that fucking 100%. You want to tell me that Andy Frisella hasn't helped more people than my fucking exercise physiology professor from Berkeley?
Yep.
Fuck off.
It's like a pious thing.
Yes.
It's a what do we call it? Like an echo chamber. Mm-hmm. All they have is their own opinions, and I think that's why the leftist mentality is pretty big at universities too. But we don't.
He's trying to go political.
We don't have to get there.
He's trying to go political. Wait, do you want another beer?
I'll take another beer, dude. But then again, that might mean we're going political. So,
well, you guys know I don't care. This beverage fridge was the best investment I made in the whole studio.
Honestly, I'm impressed. I saw it the other day, and honestly, I saw you post it on your story.
Yeah,
and I was like, those fucking PBRs are mine.
Dude.
I was like, I'm going to come in and get some PBRs, man.
I was like, it's funny, before I did anything in this studio, I was like, I need a glass front beverage fridge. Mm-hmm. Like, I pictured it. I was like, it's going to have PBRs, it's going to have energy drinks, and a little bit of water.
Yeah,
and some White Claws for the,
Hey, ain't no laws, dude.
That's right. But
I get a lot of shit for drinking White Claws during the summer.
Oh, I don't give a fuck.
See,
man.
My friend Logan Bailey, he actually lives up here in Fort Mill. He worked for big supplement companies as well. He always called it sports beer.
Sports beer.
White Claw is literally just a sport beer, dude.
Dude, I would drink the shit out of some black cherry. Is it black cherry?
Yeah,
black cherry. Yeah,
have you had the Truly lemonades?
Oh my god,
those with the stevia,
dude.
Those fuck.
Oh my god.
Nope.
So I was recently renovating a rental property, and dude, I was plowing through those fucking Truly lemonades. Because what I would do is I would do my work during the day, work on this place some, and then go work on the rental property at night, and just start cracking those fucking Trulies. Oh my god, dude.
They're so good, dude.
They're really sweet.
Yeah.
But
dude, I feel like in this at some point in this episode, I'm going to take some of the video and I'm going to put in that Step Brothers part where they're playing with the night vision goggles.
Yeah,
but yeah,
absolutely. What were we just talking about?
We were talking about the university and the left. That's a great topic.
Well, look, man. I mean, it is, and it's exactly what you were saying. It's like an echo chamber, and because I was in a PhD program at UC Berkeley in adaptive physiology, and they're so full of themselves, and it's like if you just allow yourself to open your mind a little bit and have a little self-reflection, because that's what I did, and that's why I dropped out of the PhD program, is like I wanted to impact more people because I saw the road I was going down. And look, there's nothing wrong with it, because ultimately these really focused investigations of different things in the scientific world do lead to breakthroughs that impact thousands and millions of people. But I was like, man, that's not for me. Like, I just can't, I don't want to spend my life locked away in a lab figuring out, oh, it's this protein that does that, and that's my life's work.
Right.
I just knew that I wanted to do more. And again, not to knock it.
No, exactly.
Except for when they start to talk like their shit doesn't stink.
Yeah.
And that, what you're doing's not noble. Well, guess what, motherfucker? This guy who owns the nutrition store is impacting a lot more people.
And the thing is, at this point, and I kind of thought about it a few months ago because I remembered those statements that were made. I'm like, I could impact what probably a professor would have maybe 80 students a semester between all their classes. Or at this point, we have 80 people that enter my store every single day. That's our foot traffic.
Boom. And then not even counting the people that see your social media
online
content.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's like we can impact and help more people. But, yeah, I mean, it is an echo chamber, though, of like there's no external ideas that are allowed. Yeah, that's a similar thing to the COVID bullshit that's been going on, too.
Yeah.
I mean, my business partner is actually a medical doctor, and he small business partner, but he provides a lot of value. He told me, he's like, Jacob, there's a difference between doctors that actually know how to read research and those who just listen to other doctors talk about research. Mm-hmm. And he's like, what we have right here currently is doctors that listen to other doctors.
Oh, you know? Yeah, man. And not even within the medical community, but we just have people, parroting talking points, period, that don't take the time to think for themselves. Mm-hmm. Because if you just objectively look at the data and the research that's available, I mean,
yeah,
man, I mean, even early on, you could see the difference between North and South Carolina. Mm-hmm. Like North Carolina, lockdown, mask mandate, no gyms, no nothing. South Carolina, the complete opposite.
We were fine. Yeah,
no difference in numbers.
Right.
Like no difference. So okay,
and the testing was false anyway.
And then there's that whole thing. It's like I recently had someone reach out to me who said that her friend is an ER nurse and she almost lost her job because she questioned why they took the flu off of their charting option. Mm-hmm. Literally, they couldn't choose the flu as an option in their charting. It had to be COVID.
Huh.
And then I saw a thing recently where it was like 1,500 different positive COVID tests that an inter-university study looked at, a few different universities, and they could not find a single hint of COVID in any of the 1,500 cases. Mm-hmm. All of them tested positive for influenza A or B.
Wow.
So you want to talk about false reporting, it's really bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, what do they think is going to happen when they incentivize hospitals monetarily?
Because at the end of the day, you know, what people not on the ground level, not saying that's a bad thing, normal people.
I think it's a bad thing to fucking report flu as COVID.
Well, no. I'm saying like people on the ground level, what they don't understand, and I hate to say ground level is like a bad thing, like we're above it. We're not.
Peasants. You fucking peasants.
Well, what people don't understand. Yes, Jacob Davis thinks you're a fucking peasant. Deal with it.
I'm a peasant and proud. God damn it.
What people don't realize is that hospitals are not run by people who want to see the best health in their patients.
Hospitals are business.
It's a business.
Yeah.
And the people who are the chairmen are making 20 times more than the doctors who are helping people. So whatever kind of information is being fed and whatever kind of incentives, tax benefits, etc., are going to be funneled through those people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it is what it is. That's business.
And the federal government was essentially incentivizing hospitals to report cases of COVID because they would give them extra money to.
Oh, yeah. A lot.
Yeah. But I mean, what the fuck do you expect happening? I mean, literally there were instances of dude hit by a truck, but he tested positive for COVID, so it's marked as a COVID death.
Yep.
That's insane. I mean, George Floyd was positive with COVID.
Uh-huh.
They didn't mark him as a COVID death because, you know, obviously.
Aren't we seeing more riots?
There's a narrative to perpetuate. Yeah.
Yeah, those are rising back up, right?
Well, yeah, because there was the issue with Dante Wright.
Okay.
Which was the young man who was pulled, and he had an outstanding warrant for aggravated robbery with a weapon, and they tried to arrest him, and he avoided arrest and ran and jumped in his car, and then the lady cop, 26-year veteran of the force, somehow mistook her pistol for her taser. Mistook her pistol for her taser. She thought she had her taser. She was holding her pistol. Mm-hmm. And you even see in the video, she's like, I have my taser. I'll tase you. And then, pow, shoots him. She's like, oh, shit, I just shot him. Somehow she didn't realize she was using her pistol and not her taser, which is insane to think. And
yeah, that's a fucked up mistake, but it doesn't warrant riots.
Well, it certainly wasn't racism, which is of course where everybody
goes. It's not racially
goes.
Motivated.
It was a horrible mistake. Yeah. You know, it was a terrible circumstance. Look, you know, for several reasons, right? Yeah. You know, there's a lot of people who have said that, and I guess we're going to go down this, but there's a lot of people who said that even though it was her pistol, she was justified in having it because he was
resisting arrest.
He was resisting arrest, and he had an outstanding warrant for a charge with a weapon. So, of course, you can expect he might have a weapon. But that said, she did think she had a taser and used a pistol. which fucking sucks. But, I hate that we always just jump to racism just because he happened to be a person of color.
Do we jump to race?
I mean society or the media.
Yeah, I was going to say, I come for the fucking media's throat because they're the ones that direct the narrative, man.
100%. And it sucks, but I think more and more people are becoming wise to that, and there's alternative forms of media like podcasts and YouTube and everything where people are calling that shit out, and I think it's honestly what gets ratings. Controversy gets ratings.
Why does that matter anymore? I'm seeing
because
in the
it's
next
all
10
that
years,
legacy media has to cling to. That's why you have CNN, MSNBC, fucking Fox News, all these guys like they gotta do what gets their ratings because they're losing to alternative media, which we call alternative media, but it's really just how people get their information now.
Social media, like you said,
all
podcast,
all of it.
Yeah.
So ultimately, you have this unfortunate scenario, but the media paints a picture of racism, and now you have people rioting, burning down minority-owned businesses, which is the worst part of it all. Is like a lot of these communities are like they're people of color who own the businesses, and it's their properties and stuff, and they're getting destroyed in the name of racial justice. It makes no sense, man. It sucks.
Yeah. At what point does a riot become just a straight-up act of terrorism?
Sure.
Because, I mean, I understand. I'm all for peaceful protests, but...
well, I mean, terrorism is by definition violence in the name of a political cause, right? So it pretty much is domestic terrorism. And, it sucks that's how things are going down, and you have the Derek Chauvin trial going on right now, which they're basically finding that, I mean, he might not get charged, right? And there's going to be riots if that happens.
Yeah,
and it's just it sucks, man, because these are unfortunate situations, but they're not because of, at least in my opinion, based off of you look at FBI crime, statistics and all the data, it's not systemic racism, right? Because you have this unfortunate scenario where there are more white people killed by police, but the media just doesn't show it.
Right.
If you dig into the crime stats, you can see that. Now, people will say, well, there's more white people in America, but if you normalize it for percentage of crime committed, it ends up being that black people are actually killed far less versus the amount of crime committed by black Americans. That's just a fact. And so I think it's important to say that because it's wrong to create a false narrative, especially for young people, where you're saying like, hey, you're black, the police want to kill you. Like my daughter is biracial. And so, like, I'm not going to tell her that she has to wake up every day in fear that, someone's going to fucking hunt her down in the street. That's just not true, man. Like, and I did an episode with Mike Cunahan, NYPD police officer, and he's like, I've never met a cop that was like, I'm going to kill me a black person. Like, it just doesn't exist, So, and a lot of times these police forces, a large percentage of them, black officers and people of color on the force, to try and mimic the population. So
I think it comes down to a lot of times a culture issue too. And I'm not saying that black culture, white culture, Asian culture is any better or worse than another. But I think that I don't want to put my foot in my mouth in saying this.
No, it's okay. It's just that, we have the crime stats, and it can be any number of things. I mean, there's a lot of data that supports that, like, single parent households, the kids are more likely to end up committing crime, and unfortunately, you see that in inner cities more so than other places.
Right, and I guess that's what I was getting at. Like I'm friends with a lot of law enforcement in my county, and I've asked them before. I'm like, what, you said like this went down against this person, last week, and they were a person of color. Is there a reason that you would typically look for those things? And their answer is always very statistical. It's okay. Well, this X percentage of crime happens in this neighborhood,
right,
every single week, and it just so happens that X percentage of those people in that neighborhood
are black.
It
just is what it is, man. I mean, but what happens is the left spins it as black neighborhoods are targeted because they're black. And it's like, no, we go where the crime stats
and the
are
crime
the
is typically black on black there.
Yeah.
I mean,
so you should look. I grew up. I was the only white kid in my neighborhood, in my friend group. All black neighborhood I grew up in.
Yeah.
And there were the people in that neighborhood that wanted peace, that wanted no crime, that they welcomed the police to that neighborhood because they took care of. I mean, look, man, nobody wants their fucking kid to get shot by a stray bullet because of some conflict, right?
Exactly.
Like, the police were welcomed into the neighborhood. Who didn't want the police was people committing crime.
Yep.
And it just was what it was, man. It's unfortunate because you can always spin it to say they're targeting this person or that person, but really, like you said, they're going where there's more crime. It would be an injustice to not send police to areas with more crime, because what happens then? More victims.
Yeah, and we're fed the lie that it's systemic, that it's like it's a very systemic policy of racism, and Hollywood's on board with it too. I mean, all the movies we've seen over the past few years,
Well, you go into Netflix and it's like, there's like BLM.
Yeah. We're fed this like spun story that it's because of the color of one's skin. Even like what's the movie Compton? Straight Outta Compton.
Yeah.
Like every single scene there was a racist scene,
right? Yeah.
Per the movie, but like the actual activities that were going on, there were illegal activities going on, and that's why "fuck the police" became a thing, because they were intruding on illegal activities.
Yeah.
So
again, man, for me, it just goes back to like, it's a terrible thing to tell our kids, to create this fear in our kids that they're, because I'm a parent now, so I always think about that. It's like, why are you going to tell a kid that it makes no sense, man.
Right.
Even if you think it's true, even if you think it's like so dangerous out there, et cetera, like the moment you tell a kid that they're a victim, no matter what, they're not going to try and be successful.
Yeah, they're going to keep themselves in that box.
Exactly. And so it's an injustice to future generations to perpetuate that narrative. And these media fucks are just pieces of shit that are chasing a dollar that's escaping them. So the only thing they know to try and capture that dollar is controversy. And so they're going to keep stoking that fire. And then you have a Democrat Party that takes the black American for granted and sees them as an easy vote to get.
They're a pawn.
And so they're going to keep trying to get that black vote by, catering to whatever they need to do. I mean, you saw it. Fucking Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. Yep. Like, talk about taking the black vote for granted, man. But but black Americans are waking up to it. They're like, this motherfucker, all he wanted was our vote. He got in office and now he's not doing shit. BLM, after the Biden-Harris administration took over, BLM was like, oh, it's been 30 days, no response from Biden-Harris. It's been 50 days, no response from Biden-Harris. Like, they were posting updates. Biden was like, fuck you, thanks for the votes, see you later. So it sucks to see, man, because you have these crooked motherfuckers that'll take advantage of that false narrative. And then it's this feedback loop of like the media and the Democrat Party and their anyway. We kind of went down that tangent. I get going on that shit.
Of course, no, I agree with you.
So that brings me actually to a question for you as a business owner. How, and I don't want any of this to come back and bite you in the ass for your business. But like, do you purposefully get involved or not involved in politics or any of that stuff, or like, because what we have today is a lot of big companies that go woke, like they're inserting themselves into politics for the most part on one side of things, right? Like you have very few companies that insert themselves or speak up on the other side of things. Black Rifle, First Form to an extent. Andy's pretty outspoken about supporting, police officers and America, but not many. Like, how do you guys talk about that internally, or is that it just doesn't come up?
Yeah, it's something we don't really talk a whole lot about. I mean, I'm pretty adamant on my views, and if people ask, I'll tell them. But it's also one thing, like, I don't encourage talks of politics or religion in the store. That's not a conversation that we're there to have. We're there to help you on fitness. But one thing that I do make known is that we support our law enforcement very heavily. We give pretty good discounts to them. We encourage them to come eat with us in our dining section. We do want, like, I'm very local. Like, that's my thing. I think that America has been fed this lie by the media. Not lie, but like this information that we need to be so focused on the macro scale of America.
Right. They put too much stock in the federal government.
No, screw that. Focus on your hometown.
Yeah.
Focus on what policies are going into place here.
I agree with
where
that.
we are. Because if we all as Americans did that, America would be better as a collective.
Yeah.
Because we're improving our communities. And so that's my thing. I don't really talk a lot of politics. Nobody really asks, you know. With the COVID thing, I've gotten judged a little bit for not making my guys wear masks. I never did, and we never did during the lockdowns either.
Good for you.
And
did anybody get sick or
no?
Yeah.
I also
crazy. Huh?
I also hosted a party in December that over 100 people flew in from all over the country for. Had 200 people there or so. Not a single person, shoulder to shoulder, shit faced drunk. Nobody got COVID.
Well, dude, this gym has been functioning for over a year now.
Yeah.
No masks. Nobody's reported a case.
Yep.
Obviously, people could get sick and not report it, but I've heard of nothing at all.
I've gotten judged like from people, and that kind of that delves into the politics. I hate to say it, but
it's like we talked about my story.
Yeah.
I got thrust into it by no choice of my own. You know, I was kind of my back was against the wall. You know. And I think that you're taking the right approach. I mean, unfortunately, these days businesses feel like they have to be like a warrior for social justice or whatever.
No,
and it's like Coca-Cola, man. You make soda, just fucking make your soda and shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
you know, you don't have to be some fucking warrior for a group of people that
Honestly,
doesn't want you to be a warrior for them.
I enjoyed learning how to be more white or less white. You know,
yeah.
You know,
God, like how demeaning is that? Like
that
how to be less of how you were born intrinsically? Like it's ridiculous, man.
Yep.
It's unfortunate that we're teaching these fucking despicable ideas to kids. And
I mean, you want to talk systemic? That's pretty systemic.
That's systemic.
When you're creating programs that are educating people on the wrongdoings of a certain particular like, you know?
Did you see the shit with the Smithsonian?
No.
So they put a thing out saying like, here are classical white characteristics, whatever, and they were talking like personal responsibility, financial responsibility, like goal setting shit. It's like, wait. Do you guys realize how fucking racist you are right now? You're saying that these positive attributes that are just characteristic of responsible humans are white things, you know, quote unquote.
I mean, if you want to
you're
call
the
it,
fucking racist.
I was going to say, if you want to call it that, like, call it Caucasian culture. Like, I'm all about talking about culture and different like attributes of that culture, but like, man, I know just as much white trash.
Oh my god!
I mean, I know more white trash than I know.
I grew up in white trash, and so it's like that. Like, I guess that's probably why I have the perspective I have. Is like, I knew a lot of poor ass, shitty white people, and then when I hear things like white privilege, I'm like, man, somebody should tell all those fucking white trash, poor trailer park motherfuckers that I know that they're privileged because, damn, if they're not like missing all their teeth and not educated and living in poverty and
I hate to say this, but I'm okay with saying this as a white man myself. I judge those people, and I'm way more critical of their interaction with my business than any colored person. Always. I can tell, and I hate to say that. I guess it's racist against my own kind, but her own, skin color. But because statistically, and where I'm from, they're going to be the ones that end up stealing something. I hate to say it.
Yeah,
it's just it's a fact.
So, in other words, you mean you almost profile them more?
I can't stand. And I hate to say that because we try not to profile anybody.
Sure. But if a guy comes in,
if you come in with a white beater with 4 missing teeth that are you're yellow, and you're talking aggressive.
Sure. And I think that people don't almost like don't see that enough. Like they don't realize that exists a lot.
Oh, it's
like,
so prominent.
That's why there's more white people killed by cops. Like there's a lot of trashy white poor ass people. Like, dude, just go to West Virginia or go to Eastern North Carolina where I grew up, or a lot of rural South Carolina.
Oh yeah.
Fuck, man. It's like there's lots of white people living in poverty. And unfortunately what happens is, and I've gotten in arguments with like privileged white people I went to college with who grew up upper middle class, and they just assume that that's how every white person grows up in America. it's like, guess what? I didn't grow up like that. I watched my mom trade her food stamps for 50 cents on the dollar so she could buy drugs. Mm-hmm. That's how I grew up.
Yep.
You know, like, you grew up with two parents that fucking made good money and you lived in a nice suburb and all this, but don't think that every other fucking white person grows up that way, you know?
Yeah.
And then, by the way, I grew up that way, and then I got to, you know, where I was applying for college, and there was a lot of shit I wasn't eligible for because I was white.
Yep.
You know, so, like,
you
know, it sucks, but it's like, I hate that we even, like, play that game of fucking, you know, it's just like, we're all just people, man. Like,
exactly.
Fuck, like, it drives me crazy. But you almost have to have the conversation these days because it gets forced on you, you know? It's like, it's frustrating. And I like that, to bring it back to fucking you and your business. Like, I
know we keep trailing off. My
bad.
Bad.
But it's okay. I mean, shit, dude. Like, that's what we're here for.
Right.
I like that you focus on local, because I think if anything, this whole fucking COVID thing taught people the value of their local government, you know, or at least their state government, because they realize, oh, my governor's a shithead. Like, that state over there, they don't have to wear masks, and they're living their lives, and they're loving it. And over here, I'm locked down, and I got to wear a mask. And, like, oh, my state government matters. You know? So, and then town by town, like, you see the differences. And so I think that we're going to see more people concerned with local and state government.
Right.
You know?
And I would hope so.
Yeah.
You know, as it should be.
Yeah.
But
well, shit, man. Is there anything else you want to touch on?
We've just been rambling. Yeah. I've enjoyed it.
I love it, man. I mean, I think that you know, just kind of taking the conversation wherever you want it to go can be beneficial sometimes.
And those of you guys that are listening, still apologies for taking it political, but that's kind of you should expect whatever.
Not sorry. Not sorry.
Yeah.
Look, it is what it is. It's the state of things today.
Yeah. And I could have spent an hour talking about ROI, investment, and you guys
cash
would be
flow
and all this
right
shit,
now.
And you wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Which I love talking about that kind of stuff, but no, I've enjoyed it, man. It's been a great time.
So I ask everybody this question before I wrap.
Okay.
If you could give one piece of advice to young men today, or even go back in time to I won't even say the young you, the younger you, because you're fucking 25. Which that's a compliment, by the way. You've already achieved a lot. What would that advice be? One piece of advice.
Ooh. Nobody cares, right? And I don't say that in a bad way. People are selfish. We're selfish innately, right? At the end of the day, our goal is like whatever we're focused on in this dome. The piece of advice I would give to a lot of young men who are very critical of themselves and their endeavors and whatever they're doing, whether it's working for a company and trying to move up or starting your own thing or whatever, do not worry about what Joe Blow thinks of you or what Sally Mae thinks of you over here. They're thinking about themselves at the end of the day. Focus on your own endeavors and be that selfish person that you're supposed to be, and do whatever that is. I think a lot of people, especially with social media, with our youthful generation, especially young people, even younger than me, it's such a judgment culture. You see all these sexy people on Instagram posting up, flexing, looking good, or making a lot of money, driving nice cars. At the end of the day, those people aren't judging you for whatever you're doing.
And which, by the way, I mean, a lot of times they're full of shit, and they're not really living that way.
Exactly. So I would say care less about what other people think. And if there's something, and it sounds super cliche, if there's something that you're passionate about that you can talk about all day, every day, you need to figure out a way to monetize that and make a life for yourself.
Yeah.
That's my advice right there.
Yeah, that's perfect, man.
So,
well, Jakob Davis, the Nutrition Store, going to be knocking out Academy Sports in the next 5 to 10 years.
I feel bad for saying that. That is not.
I'm just giving you a hard time, brother. No, thank you so much for your time, man. Obviously we went a little political, ranted, rambled, but
that was good.
I appreciate it, man. And I think there was plenty of value in this, and some people. Look, dude, this guy's 25 years old. He owns a nutrition store. He's opening a second one. He's crushing it on social media. He's killing it in life. I think if anything, look at this as, stop making excuses for yourself. Just fucking get out there and do the damn thing. If you fall on your face, you're young enough to get up and try again and try something else and just keep going.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
All right, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Pleasure.
Appreciate it.
Bye, everybody.
Record.
Yeah.